Hello everyone, welcome to On the Edge with Enza. Today I have a special guest who is coming all the way from Paraguay to Dubai. His name is Travis, the Bitcoin capitalist. Welcome to Dubai, Travis.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. This is a one-of-a-kind place.
So what are your impressions about Dubai? Can you tell me more?
First impression is this is one of the cleanest, safest cities I've ever been to. You know, you land at the airport and it looks like you're at a palace. And like in the U.S., you have the customs with the security. They're all dressed in the traditional outfit here. They hand you your passport back with a SIM card. Like where else on the planet do they do that? And everything's just clean. It's very safe. It's very relaxed. The only place like I've been on this level is probably Japan, where it's just safe, clean, and everyone's very friendly. So yeah, that's my first impression of this place. And there's a lot of money.
Thank you. What brings you to Dubai?
I'm coming here to do Bitcoin mining. So I got a call. Some guys, they have access to very cheap energy here. The government's starting to grant access to people that want to mine Bitcoin. And it's going to be some of the cheapest energy in the world. And Bitcoin miners go where the energy is. And this is going to be, I think, one of the Bitcoin mining capitals of the Middle East pretty soon. And as regulations get harder and harder in the U.S. and other countries, I think more people are going to migrate to crypto-friendly country like the UAE.
I heard that there is a mining facility, cutting-edge mining facilities in Abu Dhabi set up between Marathon Digital and 02, the mining company that is a part of Abu Dhabi Wealth Sovereign Fund. Their mining capacity is around 400 megawatts. You also in Paraguay run some mining facilities. Can you tell me something about it?
Yeah, so Paraguay is the number one place to mine in Latin America because they have the third largest hydroelectric dam in the world, the Itapu Dam, which it shares with Brazil. So they each built this dam and each country owns 50%, but Paraguay is an agricultural country. They do not have any use for all of this energy. So for years, Paraguay has been selling the energy back to Brazil for pennies on the dollar, and along comes Bitcoin, which allows you to export energy, and they start, Bitcoin mining, and it's just the Wild West right now. There's just mines everywhere going up, and I think a lot of Americans and American companies are starting to figure this out, and miners are coming down left and right to Paraguay, and the wholesale cost of energy is about 4 cents a kilowatt hour, which is very good. The regulations are friendly. It's a very safe, stable country, one of the most stable currencies in Latin America. It's kind of a slow pace of life there, but it's a great place to do business. So we offer miner hosting there, and we sell the miners. We import them from China, and that's one of the places we're betting big on Bitcoin mining.
What is the capacity of your mining facility?
Oh, we have several facilities. A lot of smaller facilities. 5 megawatt here or there. We have a lot of container mines. It's a multitude of smaller mines there.
What is the average hash rate of your mining facility?
The machines?
Yeah.
The average miners we put in are 120 terahash machines. We don't sell our customers anything on 100. With the halving coming up, we want everyone to be profitable, and a lot of people will dump cheaper machines on people under 100 terahash. They don't know what they're doing, and then the halving comes, and they're not going to be making a profit.
So you are using hydropower for your mining facility?
We do both.
You would do both?
Yeah, most of it, the bulk of it right now is normal mining, but we're adding hydro mining. The hydro mining, there's obviously added cost because the containers and facilities you need cost a lot more money,
yes.
And then you charge a higher kilowatt hour, but it's more profitable. And with the heat in Paraguay, it's very hot. Hydro mining is a very good option down there. So a lot of people right now are importing the hydro containers from Bitmain into Paraguay.
Is the cost of energy using hydro mining lower than using solar energy to run the mining facility?
As far as I know, no one's using the solar energy, and it's the same energy price for the user. Hydro is just the way that the water's cooling the machines. So it's not a different energy source. It's just the how it's cooling the machines. It's the same electricity source from the grid down there.
Mm-hmm. How did you get into the Bitcoin, and what brought you?
I got into Bitcoin. I was always a gold silver bug. And then my friend told me about Bitcoin. I'm like, this is a scam. And I watched it go from, to 19,000 and then crash back down. And when it was at $3,000, I'm like, what's going on here? This is still more than the price of gold. So I started speculating in Bitcoin because I could buy gold on 8mex.com. They accepted it.
Yes.
So as soon as the price went up and I started buying at like 3, And then I went to go buy gold. I made one transaction, and it was easier than using a credit card. And I'm like, what is this? So I went, down the rabbit hole, and I did all the research I could. I started following Max Kaiser, listening to a lot of him, and I'm like, wow, this is like the next, world reserve in it. So the new question now is, how high is Bitcoin actually going? Now we don't have to talk about it going zero. How high is it going is what everyone's talking about.
There is a lot of talk about Bitcoin ETF. What are your thoughts about it?
I have mixed feelings on the ETF. It's very exciting, that's happening, and I think the price in the short term is going to pump very hard. But I'm also skeptical long term of what it could mean, because Bitcoin is going to be centralized in a few hands. BlackRock's going to own all the Bitcoin, and it's going to steer people from actually buying Bitcoin and keeping possession of it, because BlackRock's going to own it all. And so people think they're going to be buying Bitcoin, but they're not. And pretty much BlackRock's just an extension of the US government, and they're going to have all this Bitcoin centralized there, which is, there could be nefarious stuff happening. And if you look what the government's done with gold, they have completely suppressed the price. With the COMEX, where it gets settled, when the price of gold goes up, they dump unlimited amount of paper contracts onto the market, and the price of gold goes down. Like if you remember the Wall Street silver squeeze, you couldn't buy physical silver, the price was going down in the paper market. It was just complete, almost gaslighting of the price of precious metals. So I'm worried that in the future they could be doing something like that, where they're trying to suppress the price of Bitcoin. But we'll have to wait and see. But it is exciting, because now we don't have to listen to the haters saying Bitcoin's going to zero. You have one of the largest asset companies in the world adopting it. Now the question is, how high is Bitcoin actually going?
But there is already Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So why such a hype about a Bitcoin ETF when you can already buy on the New York Stock Exchange the shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust?
I think it's so big. It's because it's BlackRock, which is the largest asset company in the world. So it doesn't get any bigger than that. So, and it's going to be very easy for people to just throw their money into an ETF. But pretty much you're just speculating on the price of Bitcoin. You're not actually buying Bitcoin. And the other thing people don't talk about is the unintended consequences of this ETF, because it could actually collapse a lot of these exchanges. Because all these new people, instead of going to Kraken, Binance to buy in Bitcoin, they're all going to be doing the ETF, and it could take a lot of volume away from these exchanges.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that new regulations when it comes to tax reporting will impact Bitcoin adoption?
I don't think so, and I think Bitcoin's a public ledger. Like when the government comes out, money laundering, all this stuff, that is just fear mongering. It is the last thing you want to launder money with. It's all public ledger, traceable wallets. It's not a good tool for that. I just think, Bitcoiners, they have no problem paying taxes. Everything wants it to be above board. And I think the more regulation, the better Bitcoin's going to perform, because, big companies, they want to save in Bitcoin. They don't have to be worried about getting in trouble.
You also mentioned that you are helping set up Plan B residencies in Paraguay, Panama, Costa Rica. Am I right?
You are right. So I think Bitcoiners and Plan B residencies go hand in hand, because if you understand Bitcoin, that it could be the next world reserve currency, it takes purchasing power away from the dollar. And when the dollar starts losing value, things aren't going to be great in the world. The U.S. and Western countries. And you might want a ticket out of town, and I think it's just a great way to diversify. And people, they diversify their money, but not a lot of people diversify their, geolocation in the world. And for just a couple $1,000s, you can get residencies in Panama, Armenia, Paraguay, very easy places. And I think when things go crazy again, the demand for these residencies and second passports is going to go through the roof, and the price is going to go through the roof. So you want to buy insurance before your house is on fire, because it's too late when your house is on fire. So I recommend anyone that wants to get these residency or second passports, don't wait on it, because these programs abruptly end, or the governments get greedy and they raise the price.
Mm-hmm. The purchasing power of the dollar is going down. The last 3 years it went 35% down. So how do you see Bitcoin helping people keep their purchasing power and preserving their wealth?
Well, there's an interesting thing going on. I'm not like a complete dollar doomsayer, because what's happening right now is the dollar and Bitcoin are expanding together. Because if you look at Latin America, these developing countries, their currencies in Argentina, Paraguay, Chile, their currencies are crashing. So the people there, they want dollars.
Yeah.
And then people want Bitcoin. So the dollar is actually growing in volume in the developing world. As the dollar gets stronger, it collapses weaker currencies, and there's more people using the dollar. So it's kind of a weird combination, but I think the end game, the dollar is going to have a crisis. But in the short to middle term, the dollar is actually growing in usage in developing countries. And a lot of people were speculating, oh, the Chinese yuan's not used anywhere. It's not expanding. It's not being internationalized. That, you know, the anti-dollar people thought on the scale they thought it would be.
Yeah, but just now recently, the central bank of the UAE did a currency swap between China and United Arab Emirates. So they want to trade in yuan. They actually extended this contract that they first signed in 2017. Do you think that deglobalization and de-dollarization will actually slow the adoption of Bitcoin? Because in some of let's say China, trading Bitcoin is not allowed.
Yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin mining is illegal in China, but they manufacture all the miners. So.
Yes, that's correct.
But there's a lot of rumors that China actually might begin to reverse this as they watch all these other countries gain investment over the crypto. They want investment. They might reverse this. I think Bitcoin is just going to continue to grow because of the demand for it to beat inflation as a hedge. I think, you know, there's going to be unlimited demand for Bitcoin as Western governments just print more and more money. And, you know, I think we'll have another, you know, recession, depression around the corner. And the government's going to do what it does best, and that is print more money. So when that happens, you know, Bitcoin's going to be off to the races, and you start seeing bank failures again. People are going to want, you know, Bitcoin, gold, silver, anti-dollar instruments.
Can you tell me which mining machines are the best to use for Bitcoin mining?
So, you know, Bitmain produces the Antminers, and the Antminers are like kind of the standard, most popular ones, but you are paying a premium for it. And then the second biggest is MicroBT, which produces WhatsMiner.
Yeah.
And those are very good products. Some even argue are higher quality and function better, and they're cheaper. So I use both. You know, depends what the client wants.